Boom, boom. All right, we're live. What's going on, YouTube? How we living? Got a little scruff there. I got back from Paris and Ireland last week, and on a trip like that, when you're packing for both golf and wedding attire, black tie plus like rain wedding gear, had like two check bags, additional carry on. You're bound to forget something, and I forgot my razor. So your boy's got to go to CVS. I got to pick up a new one. I've probably bought the same razor like literally 3 or 4 different times because I forget it or it dies or whatever. I'm not a clean shave guy. I'm like the very bottom blade of the razor. So that's what we're doing. Lord Jimbo, what's going on? We missed you on Tuesday, but you're back on Thursday. And today, as the YouTube folks are seeing, giving you guys for the first little 15 minutes, I'll go over my top 10 quarterbacks in college football this season, heading into the season, and then we'll get into the Ask Me Anythings, whatever you guys got cooking. This week, we're finally not having to manufacture headlines. We're just talking about ball because there's enough to react to from conference media days, NFL training camps starting away. On that note, too, if you guys have any good NFL podcasts, let me know. And college football podcasts, let me know, too. Because the NFL stuff, dude, like, I was listening to Adam Schefter's podcast, but, dude, they, like, hammer you with an ad break every 7 minutes. And you can tell, like, Adam's probably got so much stuff going on, but you can tell his podcast is, like, the bottom rung thing that he has to do. He's dialed, don't get me wrong, but it feels like it's a very much like a, hey, they have their six-pack of questions and they kind of, I don't know, it's not as efficient of an NFL podcast. If I'm going to listen to Adam Schefter, I want him to give me like if I'm going to spend 40 minutes listening to him, I wish the format was him just like brain dump everything and do like a new topic every 60 seconds. That's not what they do. I say that because give me your best college and NFL podcast. But top 10 quarterbacks in college football head into the season. I have some differing takes than the rest of the college football world. I've seen 1, 2, 3, technically four of the top 10 guys in person. So I feel like I have a good gauge here. But number 10, going Kevin Jennings, SMU. He's a name that doesn't sneak into the top 10 for most analysts, I don't feel like. But he doesn't get a lot of credit because it feels like, people are thinking SMU, maybe lighter schedule last year. They didn't show well in the Penn State game. But this time last year, Kevin Jennings was a backup quarterback. He wasn't even necessarily supposed to start. But I called their week 3 game, and then he took the reins there and never looked back. This dude's good. And it happens every single year where there's a quarterback that started year 1 that we're not talking about that takes a huge jump in year 2. And we're talking about him in potentially NFL first-round draft pick type of conversations, or at least high-end college quarterback conversations. Kevin Jennings is that guy for me. He can win from the pocket, but then he's got the athleticism to beat you with his legs. SMU had to retool in the old transfer portal, but Kevin Jennings is number 10 for me. Number 9, I'm going LaNorris Sellers. He's lower on this list for me than other people. Literally this morning at 9 a.m., I dropped a LaNorris Sellers YouTube long-form deep dive where I watched 4 of his games from last year, the all-22 footage, and I broke down each element of his game. Arm strength, accuracy, his brain and processing ability, the mobility. What was the other factor? I forget. But it's a really good video. If you're a South Carolina fan, it's mandatory watching. Type in, is he the next SEC Superman? Max Brown. That was the title. That's mandatory watching if you're a South Carolina fan. If you're an SEC fan, I also think you'll like it. If you're a quarterback fan, you'll like it. I made the video because I was like, everyone's talking about this dude. Some people are talking about him as the next Cam Newton. I got to dive into his game, see what's legit. But he's number 9 for me. I totally understand why people are hyped, but I think he needs to take a big step from a winning from the pocket perspective to be in that top 5 college quarterback conversation or first round NFL draft conversation. What I will say is LaNorris Sellers' first half of the season compared to second half of the season, maybe as big of a jump as any of the guys on this list. Looks a lot more confident. You can tell the coaches gave him more free reign to operate within the pocket. And There's even a few examples where he's taking sacks in the first half of the season, but then the second half of the season, he's looking to make plays. He's juking people around. His mobility style, though, I think we see his height, weight, and we see those two highlight runs. The first one, you guys will remember, it was like there was the two biggest plays on the respective weeks in college football. It was the big run versus LSU in September, where I was like, yo, who's this dude? He looks like a baller. And then it was the game-winning run versus Clemson, which was nutso. And that was a sick run. That might have been the best play in college football last year. But we see those two plays. He doesn't run like Cam Newton. He doesn't run as big and as aggressive as Cam Newton. He almost reminds me more of Johnny Manziel in that regard, but then he's obviously bigger than Johnny. But very intrigued with him having a whole off season of kind of being the dude. Does he get more confident? Do they give him more of the playbook? That to me is the big question. So that's Lenora Sellers at number 8. Luke Altmyer at Lenora Sellers at 9. I'm going Luke Altmyer at 8. Reason he's above Lenora Sellers is I just think he's just steady. He's just consistent. I feel like of all the guys on the list, he might have the lowest ceiling, but a high floor, man. Like some of these guys on this list, like there's a world where shit goes haywire for him or shit goes sideways. I don't really see that for Luke Altmyer. I think he's consistent. I think he's steady. I think he's proven. He's my number 8 top quarterback in college football. Number 7, I'm going Sam Leavitt, Arizona State's quarterback. Lower on my list than other people's lists because there's just this thing in my gut, in my stomach that feels like ASU had the perfect storm last year. I'm a believer in Kenny Dillingham, but I want to see him do it when they're the hunted, not the hunter, when they can't play the underdog role, and how they do it without Cam Skattebo, because Cam Skattebo is a quarterback's best friend. So that's why he's a little bit lower on this list, but for a college quarterback, I don't know if his game will translate to the NFL, but for a college quarterback, he's got everything you want. The legs, the arm strength, gets the ball on time, good on the RPO game. But again, he is a very, very confident kid, borderline arrogant. That's what you want as a college quarterback. That's what a lot of people want. I don't got any problem with that. But again, how does it change when every Big 12 team has ASU circled on their roster? And you're not sneaking up on anyone, and you're not able to build that momentum, and you don't have the run game. That's my biggest question for not even only Sam Leavitt, but ASU in general. Saw a highlight video today of Jordan Tyson, though. Dude's looking good. Number 5, going Drew Aller. No, sorry, 6. All right, I'm doing 5, Drew Aller. But 6, I'm going DJ Lagway. DJ Lagway. A lot of people have him top 3. I feel like a theme in this video is I have a lot of these quarterbacks lower than most people. So as you guys can tell, some of these quarterbacks at the top of the list are going to be higher than other people have. But I'm going DJ Lagway 6. He's got everything, dude. That first start and how he adjusted early on as a true freshman quarterback, I like. What gives me concern is these injuries that you keep hearing about. And honestly, nothing really against him. I just need to see more. The 5 guys ahead of him, I've seen more, with the exception of one dude who you guys are going to get on me. But I like his game. Interested to see in 2025 if his legs become more of a factor. He wins from the pocket, but can he be like a dynamic runner where that's something that defensive coordinators are having to game plan for? That's what I'll be thinking about. Over there on TikTok, talking my top 10 quarterbacks heading into college football. We just finished 6 through 10. 10 was Kevin Jennings, 9 Lenora Sellers, 8 Luke Altmyer, 7 Sam Leavitt, 6 DJ Lagway, and 5 Drew Aller. Common theme for you guys. He's lower on my list than other people's list, only because I don't think he's had to wear the responsibility that a lot of these guys have had. He obviously has one of the best running back or the best backfields in college football. But it feels like, and those of you guys that have followed my content closely, every single year this time, we anoint a guy because we feel like we have to. Last year it was Carson Beck. Carson Beck is not even on this list this year. That's kind of crazy. Part of me feels like we're doing a little bit of that with Drew Aller. He's still a very, very good college quarterback. But is he, top 5 NFL draft pick next year? I don't think he's there yet. I think he needs to show me more. I think he needs to be even more consistent. I need to see, when his teams either down or 2-minute drives or kind of being the dude, running the show, not necessarily leaning on a run game or an elite tight end. And then, oh, wow, he has the flashes of an absolute cannon, which is no joke. His arm strength's crazy good. But I just want to see him, the old ownership word, like be that dude, have some Heisman moments, be that dude. And I'm intrigued to see if he has that extra notch. That's the thing. Drew Aller, man, he's already started 2 years. So you would think the talking point last year was, hey, I expected him to make a huge jump in year 2. I think he made a step. I don't think he made a huge jump. And if you're not making that in year 2, what's to say you're going to make it in year 3? A little hesitant there. But Drew Aller still a top 5 quarterback in college football. Number 4, I'm going John Mateer. Here's where we maybe differ from the rest of the people. I have John Mateer higher than most. A lot of people have John Mateer as like 8th, 6th, 7th, 8th quarterback returning in college football. I love John Mateer. I think his skill set will translate. And the reason why is oftentimes when people hear of a guy at a lower level jumping to a higher level, it's like, oh, he must have just been a better athlete than everyone, and he's running all over the park and doing all sorts of different things like that. Yes, John Mateer is a great athlete, but he's comfortable from winning from the pocket. That's one thing I think people underestimate about his game. In fact, you look at the film. Here's a better way to put it. You look at John Mateer's film in 2024. It's better than Cam Ward's film in 2023. Yes, I know Cam Ward played in the OG Pac-12, but still, Cam Ward is the number 1 pick in the NFL draft this past year. I believe in John Mateer. I think Oklahoma, man, this is a key year for Oklahoma. But I just think his skill set will translate to the SEC because he can win from the pocket. If it's a game where, hey, they're taking away his legs, they can totally win with John Mateer throwing for 350 yards. If it's a, hey, they're going to drop too deep and John Mateer's legs have to be involved, they can totally win with him throwing 150 yards in the game and maybe 90 on the ground. Excited for John Mateer. Very intrigued to see how his game, if at all, translates to the NFL, though. I don't have a take there yet. I'm not quite there yet. Number 3, I'm going Cade Klubnik. Maybe a little bit lower than other people. A lot of people have Cade Klubnik as the number 1 quarterback. Similar to what I said about Drew Aller, in that last year, a lot of people were expecting this huge step by Cade Klubnik. Huge jump by Cade Klubnik. I think we saw a step better by Cade Klubnik, but not this huge jump per se. Like in November of last year, no one was really talking about Cade Klubnik as one of the best quarterbacks in college football. Yet then now we are, which I get, like big time recruit. He's done a lot of good things, but when we're talking the best dude in college football, let's all be clear. I have him as my number 3 QB, but I need to see him. I think his legs are used a lot on money downs, which a lot of you guys have heard this take before. When we're talking 3rd and 6, when we're talking red zone, when we're talking short yardage stuff, that's when they utilize his legs a lot. If you're going to be the number 1 quarterback in the country, I want to see your arm used in those situations. I want to see your arm getting you out of trouble on 3rd and 6 when you have to have it. And my number 1 guy on this list does that. Haven't seen that all the time from Cade, but don't get me wrong. In terms of a college quarterback, if you needed just 1 season as a dude, Cade Klubnik might be your guy. Combination of legs, his command, a lot of starts, a lot of experience. Cade Klubnik, number 3 for me. Number 2, Arch Manning, baby. I'm bought into the Arch Manning hype, which I always hate when people get ahead of themselves. But, dude, everything you read, everything you watch from the playing time he has, the pedigree, literally how he physically looks, the confidence that Sark does when he did put him in there and the plays that they did call. I'm on board, man. I'm on board with Arch Manning. He's my number 2 quarterback. Different way to verbalize this is if I was a head coach right now looking to start a team in 2025, who do you want your quarterback to be? My number 2 guy is Arch Manning. I would take Arch Manning right now over Cade Klubnik. It's close. But I think Arch Manning has a higher ceiling that is more intriguing to me or more attractive to me right now. If you're trying to win a national title, than where Cade Klubnik's at. Can Cade Klubnik win a national title? For sure. But it's close. But I'm taking Arch Manning over him. I think he's the full package. Very intrigued to see how much of a factor his legs ultimately end up being. Like, is it one of those things where Sark's calling like design runs? Or is it one of those things where, hey, when things break down, that's when he beats you with his legs. I think it'll be the latter, but I think Arch Manning's going to be a baller. I think he's going to be right there in the conversations of top end first round NFL draft pick next year. Yes, I know it's getting ahead of myself a little bit, but I just feel like, yes, he doesn't have the hundreds and hundreds of on-field reps, but dude, we've been tracking this dude since he was a sophomore in high school. He's answered the bell every step of the way. Every interview you hear of Sark's, every clip that you see of what we have seen from Sark gives you every indication that he is going to transition just fine into college football and in the SEC starting college football. So Arch is number 2 for me. And number 1, a little bit different than the other people. My number 1 quarterback in college football heading into the season is Garrett Nussmeier, LSU's quarterback. Might surprise some of you with that take. Vegas agrees with me, though. You look at Heisman odds right now, Garrett Nussmeier is the leading candidate. Why I love Garrett Nussmeier is, of all these guys on this list, he has had to wear the brunt of the offensive responsibility more than any of these guys. LSU last year, if Garrett Nussmeier didn't throw for 350 yards, they had no shot of winning. Can't say that about a Sam Leavitt. Can't say that about a Drew Aller. Can't really say that necessarily about a Cade Klubnik. You can say that about John Mateer, but obviously different levels there. He's just so unique in that way. And LSU's run game was trash last year. I don't expect it to be trash this year. They got a new offensive coordinator, O-line coach coming in. You give Garrett Nussmeier a run game and some balance, that's going to open up the passing attack even more. I know they got to replace some offensive linemen, but Garrett Nussmeier had a lot of responsibility in that offense. And like, Max, what does that mean? Throwing into tight windows, having to throw with anticipation consistently, not having easy completions because defenses know you're trying to pass the ball, and they might have an extra DB out there. Garrett Nussmeier is that dude. I think he will be in the NFL first-round draft pick conversation next year, and I love his game. It's not as flashy because he's not 6'5" and has the big arm like Drew Aller. He's not super mobile like some of these other guys on this list, but that dude can play quarterback, and anticipation is in his bones, which is a critical factor to have. Some of these guys still need to learn that even more. So Garrett Nussmeier, my top QB, baby, heading into the college football season. So that goes 1, Garrett Nussmeier, 2, Arch Manning, 3, Cade Klubnik, 4, John Mateer, 5, Drew Aller, 6, DJ Lagway, 7, Sam Leavitt, 8, Luke Altmaier, 9, Lenora Sellers, and 10, Kevin Jennings from SMU. It was crazy, though, when I was making this list, there's a lot of guys we left off that are noteworthy names. Devin Dampier, I know a lot of Utah fans are stoked about him. Dante Moore, those of you guys that know, my dark horse Heisman winner, Dante Moore. Check out that line. Check out that Vegas line. Nico Iamaleava, he probably would have been on this list. He probably would have been number 10 for me if he was at Tennessee. I just think UCLA is going to be tough sledding for him. Avery Johnson, he was a name that people were stoked on last year. This is the dude. He's the dude why Will Howard transferred away. Wouldn't surprise me if he takes a big step this year. Big thing for him though, similar to Cade Klubnik in some way, of like, yo, I want to see you beat people on money downs, third down, red zone with your arm, and don't rely on your legs if you're going to be a top 5, top end quarterback for me. Haynes King is interesting. Called his game. He got hurt in the game that I called for him. He doesn't throw like a lot of these guys, so I'm not putting him in the top 10, but he's definitely a quality college quarterback, especially for that offense. Dylan Raiola, that's another name that's super interesting to me because we were talking about him more than just about any other quarterback this time last year. And then now he's not in my top 10. Dana Holgorsen coming back after being an interim head OC for them last year. Dylan Raiola could easily be in the top 5, top 3 potentially best college quarterbacks at the end of the season. Don't sleep on him. The little weight body transformation he did too, not insignificant, man. It's not just about the weight, not just about the body transformation, but it shows that a guy's fucking locked in. And then Carson Beck was also left off this list, which this time last year, he was the projected number 1 overall pick in the NFL draft. So kind of wild there. But yeah, those are my top 10 quarterbacks. That hits the 20-minute mark, and we'll pop back into the Ask Me Anything. What do we got here? Haynes King, Fupa Monst, big fan there. Sorry, let me big fan of Haynes King, I'm assuming. Let me switch you up so I can see my chat here. Siobhan, good to see you. Lord Jimbo, what do we got? What do we got cooking? Travis, good to see you. Gru Gamers, rise up. Haven't seen you before. Welcome. Arch Manning will be like Trevor Lawrence. See, I'm kind of more optimistic. I've heard that comp. People saying Arch Manning's like Trevor Lawrence. Was that a Joel Klatt take? I think it was. Arch Manning is thicker than Trevor Lawrence. Almost reminds me of Andrew Luck more in that way. Ooh, that might be my comp. Arch Manning, Andrew Luck. That might be my comp. He's just sturdier. He's thicker, which to me makes me feel like he could be better in the pocket, maneuvering the pocket than Trevor Lawrence was, and potentially better in the dual threat game. So I'm not all in on the Arch Manning, Trevor Lawrence comp, at least not yet. M. Lindman, 21. Love John Mateer. Love it, baby. We're in the same bucket there. DJ Lagway should be top 5. Yeah. I mean, who you take out? Most people put DJ Lagway top 5 and take John Mateer out. Can Miller Moss make the same jump as Shuck? Tybo, 34. I think so. 100%. I think so. I haven't covered Brom enough to know his play calling style, but I know people in the industry absolutely love or Jeff or Brian, I always forget his play calling, but totally. At this point, Miller Moss, I guess Tyler Shuck's injury history was just so skewed. Like, you go back and watch Tyler Shuck, which I did a whole YouTube breakdown on this. Type in Max Brown, Tyler Shuck, video will come up. It's a good video. I went back through 3 years of Tyler Shuck film to be like, yo, how did this happen? How did he become a first-round NFL draft pick? His last year at Texas Tech, those first 3 games, he was playing really good football. He just got hurt and people forgot about him. And then you kind of punt on him because it's like, oh, he's an old guy, whatever. So Tyler Shuck had good film. It probably shouldn't have surprised us as much as it did. Miller Moss has good film. It was just like the goofy turnover bug he had at USC. I think Lincoln Riley didn't support him with the play calling as good as he could have, but I could totally see Miller Moss having a Tyler Shuck type of year. He's not as big and physically gifted as Tyler Shuck, so I don't know if we'll ever get into the second round conversation, but in terms of being an efficient college quarterback, no doubt. No doubt. Is Arch Manning more Sam Darnold or Matthew Stafford? Ooh, that's a great question. Right now, question of the day goes to Fupa Monst 3R. That's a great question, and honestly has me thinking that those two comps might be better than the Trevor Lawrence one, just because of stature. So I like the Stafford angle because of stature. I think they're built similarly, and I like that. It's not like a sexy talking point, but in terms of maneuvering the pocket, taking hits, hanging in there, Stafford, that's one of his best traits. I think his stature is similar to Arch in that degree. Stafford's not he's not 6'4", he's more like 6'2", 6'3", though. I don't know so that's where I like the Stafford comp. I don't like the Stafford comp because I don't think Arch Manning's arm strength is to that caliber. For Sam, I like the Sam comp from a mobility perspective. I think Arch and Sam are very similar mobility-wise. I don't like the Sam comp because I don't think Arch will be as much of a gunslinger as Sam, for better and for worse. I see Arch being more of a measured quarterback in that regard. But if I had to pick one to answer your direct question, I think Sam Darnold's a better comp for Arch Manning than Matthew Stafford, only because, dude, Stafford's arm talent is out of this world. I don't know if Arch is there yet. What do we got over on YouTube here? This is exactly what I'm looking for on YouTube. Let's start a podcast, fam. Bam, bam. Appreciate you. Yeah, on that note, so in the past, on these lives, the past few months, I've just taken kind of questions as they come. I'll have it be more segmented and more intentional during the football season. Not to say there won't be a Ask Me Anything portion. There will be, but it won't be the full hour. I'll come with probably, 4 to 6 takes, college football, NFL football. I'll do 2-hour-long lives, but it'll be more segmented come football season. NFL teams you think will under or overproduce this season? Love it. questions are heating up because we're getting closer to football season. Whenever people ask me that, I always Google or like ask me league-wide questions. I always pull up the list of teams just so I don't forget anyone. Over or underproduce? Over or underproduce? I could see the Patriots underproducing or underperforming relative to how everyone views them. A lot of people think the Pats are winning like 10, 12 games this year. New head coach. Yes, I know Vrabel's done some good things. It's still a young quarterback. It's still a team that needs a lot of pieces and a lot of help in a division that, if Miami wakes up and gets back to their norm, I think the Jets are going to be trash, so there's going to be some wins there. But the Patriots stick out to me there. Let me see here. Boom, 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 boom. I can see the Broncos underperforming. I'm always wary of teams that outperform in one year, and then we kind of get ahead of ourselves, and we're like, oh, Bo Nix is the next great thing and all that. Bo Nix he done a lot of good things, but momentum is a powerful thing. And sneaking up on people rather than being, hey, the hunted is a different mindset. And it feels like people are gearing up for the Broncos to be right in the thick of there. And that is a brutal division. The Broncos I could see underperforming. And on the same token, I could see the Raiders overperforming. I think Geno's a super underrated quarterback. I'm a big believer in Pete Carroll. I love the Ashton Genty pick. It wouldn't surprise me if the Broncos slightly underperform and the Raiders slightly overperform. Let me see here. Same logic with the Broncos. I could see the Commanders underperforming this year, similar to how the Texans did, right? We were this time last year, we were talking about CJ Stroud the way we're talking about Jaden Daniels right now. No one's really talking about CJ Stroud right now. That's just the reality of how football works. Sorry, getting spammed with a comment over there on YouTube. But that's not to say I think the Commanders are going to be trash, but do I think the Commanders are poised for NFC Championship again? If I had to take that versus the field, I'd probably take the field. NFC North, I think the Vikings could struggle. I'm wait and see mode on JJ McCarthy. I could see the Vikings being like a 7-8 win team. It's just hard. Rookie or pretty much a rookie quarterback. I think everyone has belief in Kevin O'Connell. I think Kevin O'Connell's a great coach. But your quarterback's more important than a coach. I can see the Vikings taking a big step back. And then overperforming, last one, I'll go Atlanta Falcons. You guys know I'm a big Michael Penix believer. NFC South's a gettable division. I could totally see the Falcons overperforming. That's about 6 teams for you. It's a great question. Appreciate it. The Vikings could be like the Colts. Lord Jimbo, what you mean? I'll report these guys. Sorry, I know they're spammy. I'll report these guys. Spam. Boom. I just reported them. Thanks, fellas. Appreciate you. Gerard, love the YouTube shorts. Yeah. So for those of you guys that have been deep in my content, you'll notice I've been slow on the football short form content the past few months. The reason being, I haven't just been chilling. I haven't just been only playing golf. We've been playing a lot of golf. New clubs coming today, picking them up, fired up. We got the Srixons, baby. First time I ever got custom fitted. Anyways, I digress. Is I've been spending all those resources on YouTube long form. So if you've liked my TikTok content in the past, we're building out YouTube long form over there. And we've had some videos pop. It hasn't been rocking the world. Every single video, though, I've posted, I'm super proud of. I think it's really good. My measure for content's always, would I watch this? I would watch all those. So go check it out. Max Brown, YouTube long form. And then, but I say that because now that it's football season, we'll get back to your original scheduled programming with much more short form content for the football season. In addition to the podcast, the YouTube lives that I'll repurpose for podcasts and whatnot. When are you coming up to play Bandon? JR, is your profile picture a head from Bandon, or what course is that? Let me know. Looks like Pebble Beach. Is that Pebble Beach? It's funny you say that. The reason I got so stoked is I'm texting with a buddy this morning, game planning a 2026 boys golf trip. And I was like, yo, we got to get Bandon on the schedule. And it's funny. I don't know if Never even told my wife this. She might be able to hear me through the other rooms, or she might laugh. But you know how like women get like baby moon gifts, right? Like baby moon something, which I'll have to figure that out whenever the time comes. My wife's not pregnant, but I was thinking like a husband moon before the first kid pops out, whenever that happens, God willing. Send it to Bandon beforehand. That would be so sick. Pop seeds in the oven, making it happen. Draw a line in the sand for a Bandon trip. It'd be so sick. I went to Bandon in 2015, 16 during summer workouts during that off period. When Sark was our head coach, but I wasn't into golf. I wasn't as good at golf. They hadn't built the new course yet, but Bandon is literally golf Disneyland. You go to Bandon Dunes, get a drink on the putting green, little double transfusion after playing 36, and then go play poker in Bunker Bar down below. Dreams, man. That's where dreams are made of. And you're staying in the little hut with all your homies. If you're even remotely interested in golf and can save up for it, Bandon is sick. Robert Roques, sorry. What's up? Happy Thursday. YouTube, sorry for the spams. What other questions we got there? I know we got that spammer freaking doing its thing. And it's not even letting me scroll up. Damn. Excited to see what two QBs do this year. Baron Morin, Texas Tech, and Diego Pavia. Texas Tech got some weapons, especially with the Joyner transfer. Then Eli Stowers, Pavia duo solid. Yeah, the Pavia one's interesting, man. I'm all for your quarterback being confident, but dude, that stuff, when it fringes on cockiness, it adds up. It's not even me just being like an old. It does. It does. When you're putting message board material out there and defenses are like, yo, I got to gear up for Diego Pavia, and you're not sneaking up on anyone, it's a different mold. Intrigued how that plays out. Texas Tech is fascinating. Let me give you guys some numbers, because it's fascinating to me for two reasons. One, because all the transfer stuff that they got. But two, if you look at the past 2 years of college football, the team on paper that we should have projected to have a big year had a big year. 2 years ago, Washington, on paper, it was like, yo, these dudes are freaking loaded. These dudes are loaded. They got an NFL left tackle, an NFL quarterback. They got 3 NFL receivers. This team is effing loaded. And people guess that, like West Coast people, a lot of people had the Dogs winning the Pac-12 in 2023. But no one nationally, no one in SEC country was like, hey, guys, we need to look out for Washington. And they were wrong. And I would argue that you could have predicted that on paper. Last year, that team was Indiana. We could have projected on paper like, yo, these dudes are doing something special at James Madison. They literally picked up that program, brought them to Indiana. Like, in hindsight, that wasn't necessarily rocket science. Who is that team for 2025? It's Texas Tech. It's 100% Texas Tech. With everything they've done in the portal, look at these additions. Sorry, I'm going through my notes of Google Docs of other QBs. Check this out. I'm making a YouTube video right now. It's about to be a half an hour long YouTube video. One question for every quarterback in college football. A lot of bandwidth put into that video. It's gonna be great. I'll post it next Tuesday on YouTube. Type in Max Brown, one quarterback, one question for every college quarterback. But what I'm getting at is, let me look at my Big 12 notes and Texas Tech. TCU, Texas Tech. All right. Big 12 coach called this team the best team money can buy in the transfer portal. Check this out. In the portal, they got 2 of the top 8 edge rushers, 2 of the top 10 defensive tackles, added to a defensive line that already had starters coming back. On offense, they got a top 5 tight end, a top 5 running back, a top 15 receiver. That's loaded. That is loaded. The Big 12, the Conference of Parity. Man, I got to cook up a video. That's a good short form video. Like Texas Tech, man. Let's not joke around. Let's not slow roll. On paper, they should get it done. If they don't, that oil tycoon billionaire booster is going to be calling for a new head man. YouTube over there. Sorry for the spam comment. Appreciate you though. For those of the locals or the OGs, fire away questions. Don't want that guy to hijack the YouTube. Thoughts on Justin Herbert with Kirk Cousins with better hair? Kirk Cousins, man, dial it in the hair transplant game. Don't sleep on the hair transplant game. No, Justin Herbert and Kirk Cousins are not alike in terms of playing style. I mean, I guess in terms of like quality of human being and being like top 10 human beings in the NFL, but Kirk Cousins has to be a timing guy. Justin Herbert's much more of a overpower you with your traits. Opinion on the Terps? I don't got much on the Terps, to be honest. I had to research to figure that out. What do I got on the Terps? Maryland. I forgot about that. Justin Martin's really intriguing to me. I don't know if Maryland's named a starter yet, but I went to UCLA's practice in person last year, and they were excited about Justin Martin, but it was no, it was two. Gosh, dude, time's flying. This is perfect. I went to UCLA's practice before I called their week 1 game 2 years ago, when it was before Dante Moore's first start, which now Dante Moore's relevant. And I remember watching practice and the coaches, which a lot of my old USC coaches were on staff at UCLA, the O-line coach, the head strength coach. And they were like, yo, this Justin Martin kid, like, don't sleep on him. Like, everyone is forgetting about him because they got Dante Moore, but don't sleep on him. And it feels like Justin Martin just kind of got lost in the shuffle at UCLA. He looks the part, dude. That guy looks legit, whether it's him or Malik Washington at quarterback. But I mean, the Big Ten's just so tough. It's tough on Maryland. Jay Valencia, what up, dude? Go Cougs. Go Cougs. Should the college football playoff be a destination similar to Omaha? My suggestion would be Pasadena. I made a video on this a couple years ago. I go back and forth because, you know, the logistics are tough if you're having, well, I guess check that. Your question is, should the college football playoff opening rounds be a destination thing and not be hosted by the local schools? Usually the question's the opposite of, hey, should we get rid of the destination locations and just have it be on campus? The logistics for on campus are really tough. I say no. I say that the structure we have now is great, where it's a little bit of each, half and half. I like hosting the first round bye, but I think when you get into the next levels, it needs to be at a neutral site because of all the stuff that goes around it. The hotels, the week-long events, the media access, all those different things. It's not sexy for the college football fan, but it matters. And also, as a pocket passer quarterback, especially at the college level, I want to see the best games, and the neutral site locations are dome or good weather. I don't want to see Penn State on an icy field where quarterbacks can't throw and it has to just run all the time. I don't like that. So I think the current structure is great as it is now. Host the first round and then move to neutral sites or destination locations, whatever you want to call it. Sorry, but I didn't answer your question exactly. You're talking like the same location every single year. So college baseball is Omaha. You're saying Pasadena every single year. Shit, I'd like that. As a dude who lives in LA, I'd like that. I mean, I think it'd be great for college football to balance and get it out of the SEC country. But that just seems like a little bit of overkill. But I mean, if you did Rose Bowl would be sick. You'd get no pushback from me there. If Maeva struggles, what would be the drop off of any, if any, to Longstreet? USC question. One, I don't know. I don't think any fan knows unless you have access to practice. Everyone else obviously loves Longstreet. To me, where I always am slow to roll is, do you like him because he's dual threat and athletic and that just looks cool and it's super exciting? But then in reality, he's not developed enough in the passing game to truly win you a championship. he can beat you versus Maryland. He can beat you versus Northwestern, but is he really going to beat Ohio State and Penn State? You have to have someone that has command of the passing game. That is really tough for a true freshman quarterback. So that's my hesitation on Longstreet. Love the fact that he's rocking number 4, though. Been a little while since we had a USC quarterback rocking the number 4. Hopefully he has much more success than the last guy that started for USC at quarterback rocking the number 4, but we'll see. We'll see there. I will say what's interesting, though, and I don't think it was lip service, but if you watch Lincoln Riley's presser at Big Ten Media Days, and they ask him about Jaden Maeva, one, he's stoked on Jaden Maeva. So I don't think it's actually a close battle, really. I think Maeva is going to start. But then two, when asked about the backup conversation, he was very quick to mention Sam Heward, which that might be just coach talk. A lot of coaches just throw that in there. But Sam Heward is a former 5-star quarterback who's had a rough go. But if you just need to back up someone to just operate the offense, if Longstreet isn't, getting up to speed, who knows? That could be something. But yeah, that's the biggest thing. Is Longstreet, are you just excited because he's dual threat and it's intriguing and he's a big recruit? Or can he actually handle and operate the passing game? That's something that I think we took for granted with a Caleb Williams, his true freshman year under Lincoln Riley, how quickly he adjusted to that. It's something USC fans took for granted. Jackson Dart as a true freshman, how quickly he adjusted. Those guys don't grow on trees. Both those guys are first-round quarterbacks for a reason. They're a rare breed. Adjusting as a true freshman QB is not easy to do. Declan McCulley, TCU, Hoover, how good can he be? TCU was weird for me last year, man. I called their game week 3 versus SMU. It was Josh Hoover versus Kevin Jennings. Sneaky good quarterback matchup. I think Hoover could be really good. I don't think he'll be an NFL guy. He's probably too short for that and doesn't have like any of the traits that blow you away. But that offense, like why TCU wasn't better last year was a head scratcher for me. If they get some other pieces around him, I don't know the exact breakdown of the roster off the top of my head, but Hoover can totally operate a complete college passing game. So if they get some momentum and, last year they what? Off the top of my mind, they had a weird loss early in the season to UCF. That was weird. They got blown out by SMU, in which their head coach got ejected. That was weird. So if those two weird things don't happen, maybe TCU's schedule's on a different trajectory. But big year for Sonny Dykes at TCU, because if they don't win this year and SMU keeps staying relevant, the old battle for the iron skillet optics have changed course. 5 years ago, it was SMU was like, man, we got to catch up to TCU. After this year, it could be TCU being like, gosh dang it, we let our little brother beat us, and now we got to catch up to them. Little brother in the eyes of Horned Frog fans. Thoughts on Marcel Reed? Yeah, he's a name I didn't mention in the first guy out conversation. I just need him to win from the pocket. I mean, I think he's super exciting. He's probably the most mobile quarterback in college football. I think that's fair to say. Yeah, who beats him? So, that's dope. That's sick. That gets you excited. Week 1, I think we're going to learn a lot. Week 1, the first half of the game, week 1, you're going to learn a lot about how much Marcel Reed has developed as a passer, because one, they're going to be calling those pass plays and he either operates them or he doesn't. Or two, if they don't even call intermediate pass concepts and the playbook hasn't expanded, that'll show you that the offensive coordinator doesn't have confidence in him as a passer. So that's the big question for me. Nate with the Randy Moss logo. Yes. Damon Williams, sneaky Heisman contender. Yes. 100%. Check it out. I've made that take, talked about Damon Williams like every single live for the past 2 months. So I'll keep it short and sweet, but the great sign for a college quarterback or a sneaky line that you like is when their fan base is freaking stoked, but the national media doesn't know who that guy is, or the average fan doesn't know who that is. That's Damon Williams. Dog fans fired up. National media, Who's Damon Williams? Colin Klein is Marcel Reed's OC. I didn't know that. I missed that. Colin Klein got hired there. I missed that. Oh, man. Whoa. I just typed in Colin Klein. Dude, that guy's lost a lot of weight since he stopped playing. Thoughts on Matt Fink throwing 350 yards against Utah in 2019? Fink, baby. Love me some Matt Fink. Great dude. Thoughts on Preston Stone at Northwestern? Intriguing. I made the point earlier about Kevin Jennings being a top 10 quarterback for me this year. SMU's quarterback. Who did he beat out? Actually, no, not even beat out. It wasn't a beat out situation. It was the game that I called, and Rhett Lashley had to make a decision. He liked both quarterbacks, and he went with Kevin Jennings over Preston Stone. I mean, playing for Northwestern gives me concern. It's just a tough conference, but Preston Stone's had a lot of success. So I'm a believer in him being a quality quarterback, college quarterback, at least better than what they've had in recent years. Sam Kitts, thoughts on Aiden Childs this year? I don't know if you guys are just hitting all my dark horse quarterbacks in this one live, but he's another guy I got my eye on. I have never, in my 4 or 5 years calling games and meeting with head coaches, I've never talked to a head coach that was more excited about their true freshman quarterback than Jonathan Smith was with Aiden Childs, period. Aiden Childs had a rocky year last year as a sophomore. The biggest jump for college quarterbacks happens in year 2 to year 3. That's Aiden Childs. That's Michigan State. Michigan State is a sneaky over win total line that I like. Michigan State projected win total. What do they got? I think they're at 5.5. Yep, bingo. Michigan State's at 5.5. What's their schedule? I had them over back when I made a video back in April. 5.5. So if they beat Western Michigan, Boston College is going to be no easy out. And Youngstown State, they're 2-1 there. They got USC, Nebraska, UCLA. They got to beat UCLA. That's their third win. Can they sneak? Can they get one between Indiana and Minnesota? That's 4. And can they get Merit? Yeah. Don't be surprised if Michigan State hits the over win total. Michigan State's like an 8-9 win team. Thoughts on Kansas winning the Natty? Can we just not have Jalen Daniels running 2-minute drills at the end of every single game to try to win them the game? Kansas might have been the best team. Like the delta between how good your team was and your record, how big that delta was, Kansas might win that last year, which is a good sign. Gives you optimistic if you're a Kansas fan. In fact, another crazy thing, I probably had Jalen Daniels this time last year as a top 10 quarterback in college football. He didn't even make my honorable mention list. That's crazy. That's crazy. Jeremiah Adams, yeah, fire away with your hot take. I got a hot take for you guys. Hot take is not a hot take, but that's what makes the best hot take. My wife just bought us new towels. Curveball for you guys. New towels suck. New towels are the worst because they're super soft and they like haven't been washed once enough to have like that little roughness to them that can actually capture the water off you. Brand new towels, you have to like go over your skin like 4 different times because they're like so soft. The best towel is one that's after one wash, period. Obviously, if you go like 900 washes, that towel's rough and it sucks. But brand new, fresh out of the wrapper towels, booty. Feel like that's a hot take? It's not. Hot take, USC will win the Big Ten. I won't be shocked if they do, but it's one of those things. This is what, like year 5, year 6 of me being an analyst, color commentator. And the first like 3 years, USC was always my dark horse because I truly believed it. That wasn't a homer take. I was like, USC, look at the roster, look at the talent, look at the Pac-12 schedule they have. And they always fell short. So then now it's like a pride thing, not be a homer, that I'm not going to go down that path. But it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if Jaden Maeva is a top 10 quarterback in college football. Would not surprise me. Hey, can you send me some USC hats to stream with? The game caps. Can we send you some USC hats to stream with? If they're cool, for sure. Game caps. Let me check your stuff out. Game caps, DM me. I'd love to rock hats. Rocking the US Open Pinehurst 2024 hat right now. Got some good people. Oh my gosh, I'm blanking on it. I'm blanking on it. Forget that. But I'm a big hat guy, so I'd love to check it out. One of these days, I want to start my own hat brand because I have the hardest time finding hats that fit me, that I like, that are cool. I'm out on the like heavy words on the hat, with rare exceptions. I do rock some of those, but like, dude, some of the golf pro shops that have like Riv, those are dumb. Those hats are dumb. I think that's going to go out of style. But then like the totally subtle hats kind of look like douchebaggy. Like if you like have like no brand on them. I want just like a subtle logo, high crown hat that's clean. You can wear to work out if you want. I could wear out to have a drink at happy hour if you want. Doesn't scream just like golf mode. One of these days, I'm gonna make a hat brand. It's happening. It's happening. Maybe if we can get these views up, then I can plug the hat brand in there. Or with the podcast this season, have a podcast, and instead of taking like a sponsor, just it's brought to you by, and then just plug my hat brand. That'd be fun. I'd be about that. Only 72 genders. Opinion on Longstreet. I literally just finished on Longstreet. I'm wait and see mode. I really haven't seen his game. The biggest question to me that I want to know is the excitement just because he's a dual threat quarterback and USC fans are sick of quarterbacks like me that are pocket passers, and it's like, yo, we finally got a dual threat guy and this guy's intriguing. And then that's putting a mask over, hey, he's still a true freshman. Hey, it's still a lot as a true freshman to learn a playbook and operate a full-fledged passing attack. USC fans were spoiled with Jackson Dart and Caleb Williams in that regard, in terms of young quarterbacks getting used to that scheme. That to me is the biggest question. New towels are awful. Love it. Love it. I'm just catching up on your comments. We need a real college burger dive around SC built that, not a hat brand. Lol. What? Thoughts on Utah and Devin Dampier this year? I'm excited because I know how excited Utah fans are, and Utah fans are some of the most dialed college football fans out there. That's real. I'm very intrigued because Devin Dampier ran for like 1,100 yards last year as a quarterback. I think that style works so well with the Utes and Kyle Whittingham. The Utes underperformed mightily last year. I don't expect them to do that 2 years in a row. I expect their defense to be legit. And I think having a running quarterback with that defense, you can put teams to sleep that way. You can have quarters just disappear. If Utah gets 2 3-and-outs and their offense, because it reminds me of like Travis Wilson when I was playing at Utah. I know he was like 6'7", like 160, but he was a running quarterback. And they were really tough to beat because it's limited possessions. Their defense is lights out. It's hard to score. I just think that's like a really Dampier's skill set is it's not perfect, because the perfect skill set would be a dual threat quarterback who can also pass at a high level, but it complements what Kyle Whittingham wants to be really well. So he's a guy that I'm definitely keeping my eye on. Utah to have a major bounce back season, go between 10-2 and 12-0. I mean, I think the Big 12 is going to be a bloodbath again, but that would not surprise me at all. In fact, that's a good line, man. Death, taxes, and Utah football being good, pretty much guaranteed. Not last year, but before this time last year, I would have given that take. Utah over under win total. What do we got? What do we got? Utah. What's their projected win total? 7.5. 7.5, folks. We might need to hammer that. 7.5 for the Utah Utes with a quarterback, a proven head coach, and a proven quarterback. Ooh, baby. Ooh, baby. Keep an eye on that one, folks. Keep an eye on that one. Utah 7.5. Might need to hammer the over on that one. Who do they got? Ooh, they have a tough out-of-conference schedule, though. I know. Who was I reading the other day? They were they play. Oh, it's UCLA. I thought they had a better out-of-conference game than I was. Yeah, I mean the Big 12 is going to be bloodbath, but and they only have Cal Poly as their only cupcake. Gosh, if they win that UCLA game, I like hammer the over on that. It's Utah at UCLA. Utah has a lot of LA kids, dude. Utah over 7.5. I like that all day long. Like that all day long. BYU on the road. They get Texas Tech at home. They get Texas Tech at home. They get Arizona State at home. They get Colorado at home. Do they even have road games? Wait, they're playing at Wyoming? Sorry. Dude, I like that a lot. One of the road games is at Wyoming. They're going to be fine. Yeah, Jeremiah, I'm with you there. I'm with you there. What else we got there? Thoughts on Justin Fields this season? John asks. John, I like the simplicity. Just John in the username, not even having a picture. What's the latest with Fields' injury situation? I'm out on Fields. I have been for a couple years. I think if Justin Fields had no swag and wore number 19, people would have been out on him a while ago. I think we've bought into what he was in college. He's never been a consistent winner from the pocket. I get why the Jets did it. You know, you kind of take a flyer on a high upside, high ceiling guy, potentially in Justin Fields, and hope that he can be the next, Sam Darnold, Baker Mayfield thing. But Sam and Baker had shown much more in terms of can you win from the pocket consistently than Fields has. Jets take him. If it wins, great. If not, they'll be top end of the NFL draft next year and hopefully have the pick of the litter of what quarterbacks are up there. I'm out on Fields. I think the Jets will be trash. Dislocated toe. Yeah, injury. It's a tough deal. It's a tough deal. I feel for Justin Fields because I do think, if he stayed in Chicago and didn't get behind the 8 ball, that he could have had like a, respectable career. But dude, there's a reason the Steelers didn't commit to him all the way, and the Steelers had every single incentive to do that. And they didn't really, Sports betting TikTok, what up? Rank the Browns QBs. You got to give me more, JR. Rank the Browns QBs in terms of who I think is the best right now, who could win you an NFL game right now, who's going to be the starter week 6, who's going to be the starter week 14. Give me one more because that's a big differentiator for the Browns QBs. If it's ranked the Browns QBs right now in terms of how they could operate, I mean, I'm going Joe Flacco 1, Kenny Pickett 2. I'm higher on Shedeur than Dillon. I'm going Shedeur 3, Dillon 4. They have a 5th guy, right? And then Deshaun 5 because he's got a bummed Achilles. Side note too, this is a take for 6 months from now, but I'm very intrigued to see what Deshaun Watson does with his career. Who takes a flyer on him? Does Deshaun Watson go the Justin Fields, Aaron Rodgers route of next year, where he tries to be the starter, the clear-cut starter for a team? Does Deshaun Watson embrace a high-profile backup role? Did the Chiefs take him and he's Patrick Mahomes' backup for a year while he gets acclimated to football again? Does he try to buddy up with who knows? Who knows? I think some of these teams that we're not talking about now, but if the Cardinals are mediocre again, things could come to a head for Kyler. No one's really talking about that. Does Deshaun go camp for the Los Angeles Rams and back up Stafford for a couple of years while Stafford rides off in the sunset? Like, Deshaun Watson is not that far removed from being, I know he's had an injury and I know there's all the crazy stuff, but Deshaun Watson's not that far removed from being a top 5 young quarterback in pro football, period. He'll get on a team in some capacity. I'm just intrigued to see who that ultimately ends up being. Deshaun's career is done. I mean, if you're a betting man, like, is he going to get back to be a starting NFL quarterback? No. If I'm a betting man, no. But I had to hesitate there. Do I think he will ever wear an NFL jersey again? Yes, I do. And so, in the literal sense, his career is not done. But I know what you're saying. Too much noise for him to be a backup. I think there's more noise with Shedeur Sanders than Deshaun Watson. And at that point, dude, like a year from now, there's going to be no noise around Deshaun. I mean, outside if he keeps getting legal trouble, I mean, that's one thing. But we'll see. I mean, he's got to get healthy first. But that'd be super sad if his career is just done. That'd be wild. Get ready for the Netflix doc on that one. That'd be wild if his career is just done. Yeah, wild. Last question here. Happy Poodle 1. Thoughts on John Schneider's contract extension? Dude, John Schneider seems to have, just a sweet gig, man. In terms of job security for GMs in Seattle, he's gone through multiple rotations of building this roster. Like, he's got street cred. Like, so many GMs are one move away from losing their job. John Schneider, because he's earned that right, in large part because of the Richard Sherman, Earl Thomas draft, right? It was Russell, Richard Sherman, Bobby Wagner. It was Bruce Irving, right? Richard Sherman, Bobby Wagner, after a year of Russell Okung, Earl Thomas, and someone else. I think it makes tons of sense for the Seahawks. I think the Seahawks and John Schneider deserve a ton of credit for dealing Russell Wilson and wearing that on the absolute chin, because there were a lot of fans that were not pleased with that decision by John Schneider. And right now he's looking like a genius for that decision. They got ahead of the 8 ball with that one. I felt like the way they handled the Pete thing was relatively smooth. I thought that was fair. And I like the fact that they went out and got a Cooper Kupp this year. I feel like, I mean, there's probably Seahawk hardos in the chat that know the nuances better than me in terms of every last contract extension, but I don't mind it. That Russ move was ballsy. He was proven right. Good on you, John Schneider. Feels like they've been timely with their free agent acquisitions this year too. The DeMarcus Lawrence acquisition, that feels like that had value on it. Cooper Kupp, love that one. Sam Darnold, love that one. I'm good with it. And on that note, it's already past 1. I'm closing up shop. For all you guys on TikTok, check out the YouTube long-form video I posted today on LaNorris Sellers, one of the most intriguing quarterbacks in college football. He could easily be talked about as a first-round Heisman guy here in 4 months. That's why I made the video. I wanted to dive into the film. I watched 5 of his games from last year, the all-22 footage, gave you my review on him and if he's really the next Cam Newton. So go check it out. YouTube, always appreciate you hanging with me, and I'll see you guys next Tuesday. Peace.